Hey, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to do a quick video. I thought this was an important video to cover a really important macro that I kind of have been wanting to set up. I just have been lazy about it and I haven't done it. But first, I wanted to give a shout out to Jiraiya, who actually he sent me this email, this message, this mail, AOE for life, and he actually said, "Keep up the good work, man. I'm taking a break, so here's my gold." He actually sent me 5 healing potions and 20 gold. So I want to give a big shout out to him. I really appreciate it. That 20 gold went to good use because, as you can see now, I have 9 gold. And just a few minutes ago, I had 33 gold. I spent 23 gold, or 20, yeah, 23 gold or thereabouts on skills just now because there's a lot of skills I hadn't learned. I've been putting off, and I grabbed them. Skills such as Blessing of Salvation, skills like Frost Resistance Aura I didn't have, and I'm starting to find that these things I'm going to start needing pretty soon. I've got Fire Resistance Aura. I skilled up some other things. I had to skill up Blessing of Might. I had to skill up Blessing of Wisdom. I had to pump up Devotion Aura 2 ranks. Just a lot of stuff. A lot of things I've been putting off because I wasn't using Devotion Aura, so why learn it? But I just respect for my tanking spec for level 45 so I can tank Zulfuric, and that spec looks like this. 5/5 to improve Devotion Aura, which is going to basically give me, a 25% increase on the bonus of my Devotion Aura. So right now, if I throw up Ret Aura, I'm sitting at 5191 armor. If I throw up Devo Aura, now I'm at 5822, so 57.9% damage reduction. So that's good. It's pretty good. It's just the best one for tanking. It's not. I don't think it's awesome. I don't think that putting 5 points in this is fantastic. I'm not like overjoyed. But when you look at the protection tree, this really gives you your best bang for the buck. I mean, you're going to get an additional 200 or 300 armor out of it. At like level 60 or something, maybe a little bit more. I'd have to go back and look at the math. Other than that, I mean, if I didn't do that, I would do something like Anticipation, or maybe even like Improved Hammer of Justice. Hammer of Justice is great for people that are running away from you or for peeling mobs off your party. Anticipation is just an overall. It's going to give you a little bit more defense, but this is not as good, and you really don't. I've talked about this before. You really don't want high defense too high because people are just going to miss you, and you want them to sometimes critically hit you so you can proc your doubt. So, having a really high defense isn't really that good. And I hate to say that, but it sounds weird. You're a protection paladin. You would hope that your defense would be good, but it's a little. I don't know. It's a little iffy on this one because because it improves your chance to parry or to dodge or to not be hit. And all of those things mean you're not blocking with your shield. So getting hit as a paladin is actually kind of a good thing. So the most important thing, since you want to kind of get hit and you want to get critically hit so you can proc your redoubt, is to have a shit ton of armor and to have a shit ton of health. So stamina and armor is super, super important. So basically the changes in my build would be I'm grabbing Devotion Aura and of course more Threat. So these two abilities are of paramount. And then, of course, you have to have your redoubt, your shield specialization, toughness. You want more armor, of course, as I just said. And you need precision because you don't want to miss. Missing's not good. And then, of course, your Blessing of Sanctuary. In Holy, the change I made was I took the 2 points out of Divine Strength, and I went all in Intellect because I'm always running out of mana. And this is actually recommended by people go back and forth on this one. I think this is the best way to go. More Strength means you're going to block more damage. You're going to do more damage. But, to be honest, unfortunately, you're not blocking as much as you would like. So I'm going to look at other avenues for generating threat like AoE, like the Masterwork Stormhammer, or, getting the right shield from engineering would help. But again, blocking is going to be interesting. I have to play with that a lot more at level 60. And then, of course, you're going to grab Seal of Righteousness because it just generates the most threat. And then, of course, you need Consecration. And that's it. That's all the points I had at level 45. Once I get 46 to 50, I'm going straight into Benediction 5 of 5 to reduce my mana usage, just so that I'm not always struggling with mana quite so much. And then after that, at level 50, we'll have to look at the talent trees and figure out where we go. But the other thing about this video that I really wanted to go over is super macro. One of the macros I finally came up with. One of my users said, "Hey, why do you have here? I've got Holy Light on my 3 keybind, but I also have Shift 3 for Holy Light." It's like, why don't you just combine that into one macro? And I said, yeah, you could do that. I said, but at low levels, I just didn't bother because I didn't know how to do it in super macro. I mean, I knew how to do it in retail WoW. You can just do like a modifier. But super macro doesn't work that way. It's more of like the real, writing code, writing Lua script. You're writing Lua script to do these things, and as opposed to the built-in macro system, which is kind of really you know, it's like an overlay sitting on top of the macro of Lua. You know what I mean? It's like it's got keywords that will do certain things, and one of them would be, you know, modifier. So if you're using super macro, you can't choose modifier. You have to actually write the code. So so let's show you how the show you what that looks like. Now this is so instead of having holy light, which is going to cast holy light on me, right? If I hit 3, or just doing keybind for shift 3, which is cast the spell holy light. It's not even a macro. And I select this guy next to me, and I just do shift 3. Now it's going to heal this person. But now I replaced my flash macro. Instead of having 2, I just now have 1. So now if I have this person targeted, I can do shift 4, and it casts it on them. And if I just hit the 4 key, notice it casts it on me. But the important part too is that it doesn't change my target. Okay, you don't want your self-heal macros to change target because you're tanking. So if I'm tanking a mob and I'm hitting him and I want to heal myself, I don't want to lose target of my mob because then I got to retarget him. So that's also another really important part of the macro. So let's take a look at it. You can see I have a lot of the original macro I had was this: flash heal me, and flash of light me. So this is just script, and this is how you'd write it in Lua script. So script cast spell by name. I think you can just use cast. You don't have to put cast spell by name, but cast spell. But they changed it in more later versions of super macro. I should actually try that. Let's try that real quick because I'm just curious. Cast spell by name. Let's just try. I love how it's throwing an error, invalid pattern capture. But we're going to try this anyway. We're just going to put it on the 8 on this key right here and just click it with the mouse. So, yeah, and so that actually didn't work. That's why I was throwing the error when I changed, I guess. Okay, I thought you could do that. Cast spell by name. Save. Okay, and now it's working again. So I guess cast doesn't work. I thought it did. Anyway, so basically if you look at my macro, and I called it flash of light cute, because sometimes I have another paladin who's missed, so sometimes I have different macros because she's a different level, so she has to use the lower level of flash of light. So I have this macro specifically for her, which eventually I'll probably delete that character, and then I'll delete those macros and clean this up a little bit. You can see I've got some macros in here for my hunter and stuff. Flashlight cute. So here's how you would code this, and it's basically slash script local. It says a is equal to, so you're setting up a variable, and you're saying is shift key down. So this is a method that apparently is, so this is a keyword or a function. I'm sorry, this is a function that exists within super macro. So this is the part I didn't know, and I didn't know how to do it in super macro because I didn't know how to get access to checking to see if the shift key is being pressed. And so apparently there's a function in the super macro script that checks for the shift key. So they're saying set this local variable a is equal to call this function. The result of this function is going to be set into a, obviously. So I'm a programmer, so I know how this stuff works. So if a is equal to nil, or nil just means null, basically nil or null or empty. So if we set local a and we say if shift key is down, the shift key is not down, a is indeed going to be equal to nil or null or empty. It doesn't have a value because the shift key wasn't pressed. So in that case, if the shift key isn't pressed, then cast spell by name flash of light rank 4. Now the other piece of the magic here is the comma true. If you cast spell by name in super macro, at the end of that you put comma true, it always is going to say cast it on myself. Okay? But it doesn't change your target, right? So that's the important part. Okay, but if the shift key is down, okay, else, so if a is equal to nil, well, then cast the spell on myself. Else, if it is not null, that means the shift key was pressed, then cast the spell by name flash of light rank 4. Just cast it. And at that point, it's just going to cast it on whoever I have targeted. Okay? So that's pretty much how it works. So now I can go through and do my due diligence. I can replace all of my spells that are like that, and I really don't have a lot. I've got my Hand of Freedom like that, so that'll have to be replaced. I've got my Holy Light like that. That'll be replaced. So I'm going to recover these slots. So I'm going to recover those 3 slots. And then I'll also do a Sanctuary, and so I'll recover that one. I can also do a Blessing of Might and a Blessing of Wisdom, so that'll recover those 2 slots. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to recover like 6 action bar slots, which is really important because I'm running out of slots on my action bar, guys. I really am. The Paladin has so many abilities. So I wanted to show you guys that macro because it's really, really important that you guys use this if you want to be, if you want to be efficient and you want to retain enough action bar slots. Because look at all these spells I have. Here's another one. I've got Purify. That was the cat falling off of the cat tree. Good job, and it was that cat's crazy. Um, Hope she didn't hurt herself. So yeah, here's another one, the purify. I also have another one here that another skill I just learned, cleanse. That's gonna have to have the same type of macro set up, right? So you're gonna have a lot of these. You've got blessing of salvation, blessing of light. All these blessings you have. I've got one, two, three, four. There's like 5 blessings. So there's 5 macros for those. You've got cleanse. You've got purify. Just it's you've got blessing of protection, right? So for a paladin, you really need to use this macro and clean up your hotbars and just have one macro for each of those abilities, and that'll really help you out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I definitely, like I said, really try to use that, play around with it. It'll make you a lot better as a paladin. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.